Was there any resistance to therapy as a rugby playing bloke?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the one resistance that I had that was interesting, I felt that it took me a few weeks to say yes, because it wasn't, firstly, it wasn't my choice to start with. Someone picked up on that I wasn't right. Chloe from the charity Big Moose, we had a phone call and she picked up that something wasn't quite right, and she offered the help of one of the Big Moose therapists. Say, look, you know, Graham's there if you need him. And my instant reaction was, no, don't be silly. I'm absolutely fine. I can handle this myself. And that's what you're taught as a rugby player. It's the don't be soft. Like, don't show any emotion. Emotion is weakness. Like, just carry on, get the job done. Which serves a purpose, and it's absolutely served the purpose in some of the races I've had to complete over the last few years. Like that is valuable, but in that moment, I didn't accept the help. So it took a few weeks for me then to realize, actually, no, nothing's changing. I need to be strong here. I need to be brave enough to. And I felt like, because I wasn't at the point, and I hope this isn't like triggering for anyone, but like I wasn't at the point where I felt like it was bad enough for me to ask for help. That was the block, because I didn't feel like I wasn't going to hurt myself. It was just a feeling that I'd never felt before, that I didn't know how to manage on my own. And that was one of the blocks of not asking for help, because I didn't feel like I was worthy of it. The irony of it, I had no self-worth, yet I wasn't worthy to ask for help. It was just, but that was the biggest resistance I felt, which was, yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I mean, I had to go all the way to the very, very, very bottom before I even acknowledged that I even needed help, let alone felt like I was worthy, or the right thing to do was to ask for it. And even coming back around from that, there was still residual resistance based on my perception of my own masculinity, self-worth, who I was, the expectations on me, and all these things, even after I'd hit the very, very bottom of my own mental well-being. And it came from that resistance was there. But now, having obviously learned the lessons from that, like you said, these things are only valuable if we learn the lessons and apply the lessons. I'm not afraid to ask for help the second I need it. There'll sometimes be a bit where I may be pulling the thread a bit longer than I need to, but I'll then catch myself and think, hang on, you're going a bit insular here. Yeah. You've got a great support network, tap into them. But I think if you can help rewire that, whatever it is, societal conditioning, masculine conditioning, we don't really know, that makes us resistant to, oh, no, I'm fine. What are you talking about? Don't throw the T word at me like that. Whoa. I think it helps us view things a bit more objectively. And I don't want to be in any way dismissive of the nuance or the subjectivity that goes with it. But when it comes to managing mental well-being on a spectrum of, let's say, unhealthy to healthy, and most of us will spend a lot of time in the middle, is things are, I truly believe things are a little bit more objective than we give them credit for, whereby if we can equip ourselves with a toolbox that we carry around with us, that we can apply to things, then we'll have a better understanding of what makes us tick and how we can respond to them, so that we are a little bit more in control, so that when we do enter a tailspin, you've got a bit more control of the wheel to get yourself back on the road rather than going into the wall on the side of the motorway, metaphorically speaking, of course, I hope. But
yeah, for sure. And I think that's probably why the first time was so hard, because I didn't have a toolbox. I didn't understand what that toolbox looked like. And I had no awareness as to why I was feeling the way I was feeling. So for me, the first part of it was to actually look back and understand, okay, why? Like, what is it that has caused me to land at where I am now? What could I have done differently? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And even just the understanding of that and accepting that was helpful.
Why were you feeling that way?
It was looking back at my career, because rugby came up a lot. Obviously, I spent 10 years of my life doing it, but I looked back at my career and thought I'd failed, and I just could not shake that. I was actually running a business at the time. I started it in my last year of playing rugby, selling coconuts of all things. That's a story for another time. And that business started really well through lockdown, but that started to fail. And I couldn't live off that business. I wasn't earning enough money, and I continued to fight and continued to work at something that wasn't obviously going to work. And that again was another sign that I'd failed. So I needed something I'm not a fucking failure here. And ultra running was the thing that came about at that perfect time. And it helped me kind of, instead of running away, another thing I've kind of learned from the therapy was, it was more a conscious choice, to be honest. It was, instead of, I recognized I was running away from the pain. So the choice was, okay, well, I know how much I've learned from it. I know how much I enjoyed this experience. I know how much I gained from it, from the community to the way I was able to prove to myself I could do it. I'm now going to run towards it as a way to learn about myself.
Yeah.
There was the conscious shift, which ultimately has led to this point now,